Just want my bottle of pop back. Yep. It's the Rule 34 floor. Alright, go to elevator right now. Oh, this ain't that bad. I was expecting something way worse for, like, you know, beating our record. What the fuck? It spawned under the screen share. Are we serious? Dude, what the flip, bro? I'm genuinely gonna summon Osama bin Laden. Oh, okay. No, you're all good. You're all good. Oh, I'm just gonna. That's okay. Next person's gonna be on last. Alright, V's doing last one. I'll tell you. Oh, you can start heading over here. Holy, that just broke our record. Officially, our record has been broken. Like, considered by the Indies World. Jeez, dude. Alright, Astro's on last. Okay. I still have my Savory Charm active too. That's the first time I've gotten hit this entire run. That's wild. Alright, try circling a bit closer, elevator. Make sure to stay away from glisten. Ooh. Yeah, Isaiah, you can lose Pebble. You can lose Pebble. Yeah. We might be running out of options. If you want to, you can lose them. Alright, I'm heading over to you. Hold on. Oh, I was just about to heal you. Rip. Oh my god, Isaiah, are you still there? Yeah, you are. Alright, we're about to beat floor 39. Holy. I don't. Jeez, dude, floor 40. And it's 3 a.m. No way. That's Sprout. Sprout, Connie. Who else? Sprout, Connie, Ringle Dingle. Boxton. Why are they getting chased? They can't. Okay. Who else? Finn. Yeah, we already know about Sprout. Tegan. Oh, Connie. Connie. Okay. That should be fine. Why is there 2 smoke bombs? Let them be alright, let them be alright. Holy, we've been like getting lucky after you died, sadly enough. Because after you died, it was kind of chill after that. I kind of had to lock in though, but right now we should be fine because I'm able to distract all these people. Not for long though. I doubt my Savory Charm is gonna help me like get past 440. Like anything past floor 41, I don't think I'd be able to do. Oh, okay. Dude, if I like 3 of them left all at once. Where are these last ones? Oh, that's burnt. And Boxton. Okay. Boxton genuinely looks like a crack addict, bro. Like, look at those eyes. It's 3 a.m., bro. I have a test tomorrow. I'm gonna be doing map tests soon, and I need to like do a bunch of homework, like a bunch of homework. I have like 3 different projects to do, and I'm here at 3 a.m. playing Dandy's World at 3:17:20. Ooh. Well, excuse you. Oh my God. Well, excuse me. Okay. In a little bit, we're gonna pass 440, I think. I really wish Dandy Short had VC servers, but like, you gotta apply for them. Cause some of these Dandy Short people be weird as hell. I'm making my way downtown. That's actually wild. We just don't have any other choices than medical attention. Oh, it forced one. Okay. Oh no, I'm stuck doing a skill check with this behind me. No way it scraps. Hi, Louie. Oh no, they don't have the heal on them. I don't know who else it is. Poppy. Where are the others? Boxton. Now it's Toodles. I don't like that Toodles is as fast as Shelly. Shrimpo. Who else? I don't know. Is that? No, that's Brescia. Toodles. Toodles! Fuck! Oh my god, Toodles of Despair, bro. Genuine Toodles of Despair. Holy, bro. No, the lag is gonna kill me. The lag is gonna kill me. Oh, no. Savory charm, thank you. Fuck that. There's so many, I'm just gonna get constantly seen. What the hell? No. what I was wondering. This toddler's most definitely gonna grow up to be a mortician. Cause like, what is this? I just want to do a singular machine, bro. It's been okay, Brusha. You just came back for no reason. There's no way I live. Oh my god, there's legitimately zero way I live. Bluey's in there somewhere. I'm gonna need this. Anything but a normal freaking. Oh, the lag. What the frick was that? No. I'm so fucked. No way, dude. There's no way we complete this. I don't want to jinx it, but like, there's no way we get to floor 42. Oh, we get to floor 42. We get to floor 42. We get to floor 42. Jeez, dude. Yeah, no, I'm down on my savory charm. 26 minutes of recording, bro. Oh my lord, bro. 3 of them straight on me. Oh my lord. What the fuck? Hit me with the ultra combo, nigga. Booty challenge. Yeah, I don't know. Ooh. No way, no way, no way, no way. The arm's not gone, the arm's not gone, the arm's not gone. Jukes! Jukes for days! Oh, what are you doing, bro? Smile. Dog, this is 4-hour long run. They don't know me, son. They don't know me. They don't know. My son doesn't know me. Yeah. I forgot David Goggins was a deadbeat dad. My kids don't know me, son. You my only son. Black twins. Fuck you mean. Where they at, dope? Where they at, dope? Where they at, dope? Where they at, dope? Where they at, though? Toodles kind of looked like one of them crackhead girls on my school in my civics class. Not civics, in my social studies class, bro. Like, we in the middle of learning about Mesopotamia, and one of them say, "What's the age, though?" While we in the middle of taking a test. Like, bro, how'd you even pass last year? You don't make no sense. And then next thing you know, one of them's talking about Charlie Kirk. Uh-huh. Toodles, you fat monster, bro. How am I supposed to do this if I'm like... Is he good? Oh, I don't think he's okay. Why he low-key got that pep in that pep in his step though? Where they at though? Where they at though? His steps got lyrics to them. I hear, cause I'm a fellow sprout. I'm a sprout and he sprout. That's why I can hear his step in the lyrics. Ooh, Toodles. I'm not gonna get violated by you. Where they at though? Where they at though? Yeah, let's do that Ellie. Oh my god, we just made it to floor 43. Imagine you could get body blocked by these freaking tombs like you could in Forsaken with the killers. Like imagine the main, like 3 different main characters. You run into a corner, instead of phasing right through them, you instead just get body blocked them and start getting combo the hell out of. Like you just immediately die. Oh no, I'm gonna get my shit rocked. Oh, I didn't get my shit rocked. Oh. Okay, let's see. Let's see what horrendous thing. I want to go to bed, but like this second I get off, it's gonna give that person hard levels, and they're just gonna immediately die. You need to take your shitty looking pyramid head somewhere else, bro. How'd I, yo? Yo, turns around for immediate slimage. Just instantly wants to slime the person right next to him. Just not like anybody with this emo ass motherfucker. Holy bro, we're about to get to floor 44. Oh my god, Isaiah, we just hit floor 44. Holy. Oh my god. Ooh, it's 4 a.m. I've been doing this for 4 hours. 4 hours, bro. Oh my god. This is so troubling. Oh, juice of despair. Lord, this is gonna be boring. Why am I that distracting as support? I don't know. Isaiah, you still there? Yeah, you are. Dude, I can hear my mom like waking up, getting ready for work. We're still in this match. We made it to floor 44. Yo, my eyes are so heavy, bro. Like I'm blinking and I'm struggling to open my eyes back up. Like it's so hard to keep my eyes open right now. But I gotta keep looking at the road because I'm driving downtown and making sure to keep my headlights on. And I have a test today too. Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces pass, and I'm homebound. If I could know and doesn't it hurts hard. Lord, how did I do this for 30 levels in a row? This is still more fun than any amount of schoolwork that could be prioritized to my liking. Keep that in mind, teach. Keep that in mind, teach. Sometimes the student want to learn, but you can't tell them how to learn. Bars. Dr. P soda. Soda. I'm just here to freaking tell you that your parts are trash and you should never pick up the mic again. Huh? Dr. B soda. Soda. Oh, that lag. I've been sitting here for 5 minutes. Oh no, okay. Best distractor, guys. Trust. Oh. Oh my gosh. I hate da 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 da. Is Poppy on me? Yeah, she's on me. Who else? Louis. Oh no, I have to do this again. Come on, just give us Pebble or something, bro. I'm so tired. You're like, sure, like I'd be able to distract Pebble. Ooh, the lag. I can't turn that tightly. That's gonna kill me. Yeah. Alright. Good night. Yeah. Well, I guess see you then later today. Sahur. Pitro tung 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 sahur. Tung sahur. Oh my god. I'm like struggling to keep my eyes open right now, bro. I'm not even sure how many floors ago we hit. 14 machines. I wouldn't be sure either. Because, I don't know, man. Tung 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 sahur. Brrr. Excuse me. Sahur. That made me want to stop pressing my keyboard. Holy, bro. I like accidentally closed my eyes and almost fell asleep. Mm. Ta sahur, trippy troppy troll, tung 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 sahur, boom, ta sahur, tung 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 sahur, boom, tung 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 sahur, trippy troppy troll, tung 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 sahur, boom, tung 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 sahur.
eyes are struggling. Alright. Oh yeah, I can have 2 this time. Here we go! We're on the final stretch, chat. We're on the final fucking stretch. This is it. And to think that I'm still going to edit my video after this. I'm on the fucking grind right now, chat. I'm editing right now. There appears to be something missing here. I can't quite put... there it is, yeah. You know, it's funny you say that, Fartley Cloudy, because I actually do have an idea to do like an SB 600% style FNAF World run. Oh, yeah, I am going to do this. Like, I have already decided this is what I'm going to do, but this is, might actually be next weekend is when I do it, actually. So, stay tuned. Pretty cool. I'm so ready to be done. Hello! Let's fucking go, Slasher Purple Guy! Yes! Oh, we're saving time here. Super Goon! Slasher! Fuck. 2 times in a row would have been legendary. Would have been legendary. Alright, let's go get the cock ending, shall we? And then, the chipper ending, shall we? Button. Oh, yeah, right, the button. Look, I'm not in the best mental. You gotta cut me some slack for forgetting that. Why the fuck was the screen violently shaking like that? Let's do chipper first. Just because I feel like it. Let's do chipper first. Fuck it. Yeah, I gotta do lol bit, right? Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. Would not have been good if I forgot. There we go. Perfect. Done. All right. Now we go kill chipper. Chia. Alright. Oh yeah, I have the fan now! I have the fan! Hell yeah, we have the fan now. Oh yeah. Oh, I should have fucking, I should have did gift boxes. Gift boxes. Slasher. Come on. No! This is going swimmingly, as you can see. Swimmingly. Oh, we got a slasher in! Holy shit! Do not hit coffee! Oh, thank you. Ha bitch! Get fucked! Let's fucking go fucking poggies! Yeah, clock ending now. Clock ending, and then we gotta kill the owl. Kinda forgot about that part. Owl and then Scoot, and then... rainbow, and then rainbow, and that's it. And then we have finished 157%. We're almost done, Chad. I can smell the finish line. I can smell it. It's really easy, though. We'll have it set up for next stream. Oh, there's the slasher. There's the slasher. There's the slasher. 2 more boss fights. 2 more boss fights, and then that's it. And then that is it. That is it. That is it. That is it. All right, here we go. Please, slasher again! Kill Scots! Here we go. No, Chica's Magic Rainbow is last. Slasher. 4th wall. Slasher. Slasher! The wrong one. No, I was supposed to do gift boxes there. Shit. Let me cycle. Oh, no, actually, that's... That works too. Hey, don't mind me. That fucking works. All right, Chica's Magic Rainbow. Anyone? We're almost fucking done. Holy shit! This is it. This is the end of the run. Oh my goodness. Sub 4 hours. Surely we get a sub 4 hours. If we're lucky, we might get a sub 330. If we're lucky, but I 330 might be copium. It might be. It might be. All right, who's ready? Who is ready?
Oh my lord.
All right, here we go. Boob breath. Mega virus. Let's get the slashers going. Slasher. Let's get it going. That's 1. That's 2. 2 in a row. 2 in a row. Chat. 3. That's 3. God, fuck! That's actually crazy. That's actually fucking crazy. That's actually fucking crazy. Holy fucking shit. Holy fuck. Imagine that. Technically, we got that sub 30. That was insanely copious. Fuck. We got all the chips. We got all the bikes. We did it. That is a run, and I will be submitting that, right? I will be immediately submitting that. Man, feels good. Feels good to finish a run. My throat is really sore. My voice is starting to die. I am going to bid you all farewell. Yes, I am tired. My brain is melty. Thank you all for joining. This was a blast. Despite the grind, it was fun. Thank you, everybody.
If you've ever played a FNAF Max Mode or watched someone play a FNAF Max Mode, then you've probably heard the excuse that the game has given the player such bad RNG that they can't win. You'll see this pretty often in FNAF 2 with Toy Bonnie or Foxy. Or maybe in FNAF 3 with Springtrap. But what if these animatronics decided that enough was enough? Players beating every single max mode in a row. Players beating max modes with ridiculous amounts of power. Or doing them up to 15 times in a row. Those days were over. In this series of videos, we'll be modding every single FNAF game to give me the worst possible luck no matter what. If anything has a chance to go wrong, it will go wrong. So it's time to answer the question. Can you beat FNAF's max modes with the worst possible luck? I hope you enjoy. Here's how I'm going to be structuring this video. This is part 1 of what will likely be a 2-part series. In this video, we'll be covering FNAF 1 to 3, with part 2 covering 4 to UCN. Before I explain how I did on each buffed up max mode, I'll first explain the changes we made to each game, and why it's the unluckiest possible version of this game. So, let's lay out some rules. We have to mod every single game, so that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. For example, if Toy Bonnie enters the vent, yeah, he's never leaving. However, unlike my other challenges, to deal with these buffed up animatronics, we're going to need every bit of technical knowledge that we have, so glitches and game-breaking strategies are on the table, so long as we don't use any external programs to alter the game. Night skips like CG Plus and file editing are banned though, for obvious reasons. Because we're allowing cheese strats, I'm going to give each game a rating once we're done with it. If a max mode is ranked as a green possible, then it's possible without any cheese strats and can be done 100% legit. If a game is ranked with a yellow possible, then some form of cheese or glitches is required to get through it when given the worst possible luck. And if a game is ranked as impossible, everything we threw at it just didn't work, and the RNG was just too strong. Any cheese, nothing worked. Before we get into these games, I want to give a huge thank you and shout out to Braden for coding all of these unluckiest versions of the first 3 FNAF games. I'll have them all posted in the description if you'd like to try them for yourself. With that out of the way, let's get into our first game of FNAF 1. I'm going to assume you have a basic understanding of movement opportunities and intervals if you clicked on this video, but if not, here's like a 20-second explanation. In FNAF games, every animatronic usually has a set time interval. Every interval, the game will generate a random number between 1 and 20 for that animatronic. If this number is less than or equal to their AI level, they will move, attack, or progress depending on who it is or what game we're in. Basically, every interval, animatronics have an AI 20 chance to act. Now with that basic explanation out of the way, we can get into our changes in FNAF 1. In FNAF 1, the biggest luck factor is Foxy, so that was the first thing that we changed. When you read the cameras in FNAF 1, and this this doesn't need to be Foxy's camera, just any camera. Foxy is guaranteed to fail all movement opportunities from a random number between 50 frames and 1049 frames. So, when you quickly pull up the cameras and put them back down, Foxy cannot move until his stall timer is up, and he has a successful movement opportunity on his standard interval of 5.02 seconds. So, in our version of FNAF 1, Foxy will always roll 50 frames, meaning he's only stalled for 0.83 seconds once the cameras are pulled down. When Foxy hits the door, he randomly starts back in Pirate's Cove in stage 0 or 1. So in our version, he always starts in stage 1. Bonnie and Chica also have some changes. There aren't any AI caps in FNAF 1, so they can't just rush to the door and stay there forever. However, there is still RNG in their pathing. Here are Bonnie and Chica's movement trees. Anywhere that an arrow is pointing, Bonnie and Chica can go on a given movement opportunity, with all of these paths sharing an equal chance. For example, if Bonnie is in Cam 5, he has an equal chance to go to Cam 1B or Cam 2A. So in our version of FNAF 1, Bonnie and Chica will always take their fastest possible routes to our office doors. However, if they always took a scripted path, you'd be able to predict exactly when they'd be at the doors every single time with a timer. So when Bonnie reaches the hall corner, he has a 1/2 chance to go to the door and a 1/2 chance to go to the closet. And when Chica reaches the hall corner, she has a 1/2 chance to go to the door and a 1/2 chance to go to the east hall. Lastly, Freddy will always give you the shortest blackout possible, which ranges from 7 seconds to 12 seconds depending on when you black out.
Oh my gosh.
So, with all these bugs that how do we even stand a chance of this for 20 minutes? I decided that I would play this night for around 5 hours legitimately before I started to resort to our own kind of if you know what I mean. In order to stand any chance against these animatronics, we're going to need to use this interval timer made by Shooter25. This timer is used in 3 modes, where players will attempt to save as much power as possible when they're in max mode. The blue number on the top left represents Bonnie's intervals. The number on the top right represents Chica's intervals. And this purple number right here represents Fox's intervals. The white number is the length for the entire night. Each of these numbers are scaled such that 1000 is always equal to 1 full interval. So I'll just call these numbers units. Once any of these numbers hit 0, the given animatronic will move as their movement equation is always true. But what we care about the most is Foxy's timer. Because Foxy is always as unlucky as possible, his stall time is virtually non-existent. So we have to rely on his standard interval in order to keep him at bay, which is roughly 5.02 seconds. This means that we'll have to have the cameras open on every single Foxy interval. The best way to do this is to pull up the cameras when Foxy's timer reaches 200, and drop it when it reaches 850. For our standard strategy, we'll be going with the modern FNAF 1 420 strat, but instead of pulling up the cameras and checking the lights on the alternating cycle, we'll check both lights, then pull up the cameras to catch Foxy's interval. It's extremely important that your camera never leaves Cam 4B the entire night. Not only because it stalls Freddy, but also because checking Foxy at any point during the entire night will pause his interval timer, desyncing you with the video for the interval timer. So, not only is Foxy's stall timer super strict, but we also can't check which stage he's in throughout the night. While Foxy is the most difficult part of this night on paper, it isn't actually what makes this night so challenging. What makes this so difficult is the extremely slight differences in interval timers. For some reason, and this is only in FNAF 1, Scott decided to make every animatronic move on slightly different intervals. In every other FNAF game, this is usually a whole number across the board. But here, this causes tons of problems. Maybe he knew that the Bones5 YouTube channel on YouTube would try to beat this game with the worst luck possible, like 10 years later, who knows, man. Here's what I mean. Take a look at the interval timer roughly around 1 AM. Everything seems roughly synced up. Remember that once Foxy's interval crosses over, we have to check both doors to deal with Bonnie and Chica before Foxy's next interval. By the time Foxy's interval crosses over at 1 AM, we still have a good bit of time to deal with Bonnie and Chica, roughly 800 units. But these FNAF 1 nights are long, and after a while, the 0.04 and 0.05 second differences between Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy begin to add up. So now, fast forward to roughly 3 to 4 AM. At this point, you're barely getting any kind of checkpoint from Chica, and if they will happen to be at your doors, it's game over. You'll have to start closing the door and reopening it before you even check Foxy, but even then, it still isn't fast enough. Not to mention, you have to be on perfect power pace, as you only have a 12-second power outage sequence at best. And with needing to be on the cameras for much longer to make sure you're over Foxy's intervals, this becomes a lot harder. Missing a single light check or not opening a door instantly will cause you to go off pace. In roughly 7 hours of breaking my neck to attempt this, I wasn't able to complete FNAF 1 with the worst possible luck. However, it may be possible with no cheese. Just extremely difficult. I'll be putting the link to this version of FNAF 1 in the description along with the interval timer. If anyone would like to attempt this challenge for themselves and prove that it is in fact possible, that's great and I'd love to see it. But from my personal experience, the power and desync on later hours just wasn't enough and I couldn't do it. As far as cheese strats go, FNAF 1 has multiple others you can use. We could go with the 1 FPS strat, but that's lame, so I chose to go with the Foxy glitch. I think it's a bit more fitting, as Foxy has definitely caused us the most pain this time around. I've explained this glitch in detail before on other videos, so I'll just give a brief explanation here. Basically, when you open a door in FNAF 1, right as Foxy gets to the door, he's gonna wait right outside the door until it's fully open, then enter and jump scare you. So, for the 12 frames of the doors in this opening animation, Foxy is at the door, but he is not jump scaring you. During these 12 frames, you can turn on the light, which has a 20% chance to flicker every single frame. When this flicker happens, the entire sprite for the office resets, which deletes Foxy's sprite and makes the rest of the night completely free. So, for FNAF 1's unluckiest max mode, I'm giving it a possible with cheese. Now, that was a bit of a boring conclusion. However, for our next game, which is considered by a lot of players to be the most RNG-based FNAF game, it really could not be any more different. In FNAF 2, there were a multitude of luck factors that we had to change in order to make it as unlucky as possible 100% of the time. The first big change is with Foxy. Normally on 1020 mode, Foxy is one of the biggest threats the player has to worry about. His jump scare is defined by this equation, with this D variable representing the amount of seconds he's gone without the flashlight in his eyes. But what we're interested in is this random 0 to 4 right here. This part of the equation determines how much leeway you have with Foxy when using the flashlight. So, in our version of FNAF 2, Foxy will always roll a 0 in this equation, giving you 4 seconds maximum to go without flashing Foxy. The reason this is 4 seconds and not 1 second is because of Foxy's AI cap at 17 AI. In this mod, we only alter RNG that's possible within the confines of the vanilla game. So, removing the RNG cap for someone like Toy Bonnie just makes him move 100% of the time. Whereas with Foxy, it creates timers that wouldn't be possible in vanilla FNAF 2. So, his AI cap stays at 17. Speaking of Toy Bonnie, he's usually the other big threat that people talk about when playing 1020 mode. Normally, once Toy Bonnie enters your vent, he has a 1/2 chance to leave the vent every 0.5 seconds that the mask is on. Because this is a 1/2 chance, we've modded Toy Bonnie to never leave the vent. So, once he's there for good. Every toy and wicked animatronic has had their AI caps removed, so now everyone will succeed at 100% of their movement opportunities. If Mangle gets in the office, she will attack given her first chance when the cameras are up. Golden Freddy will also appear on every single camera drop if you happen to have the cameras up on a 5-second interval. Every single vent animatronic, with the exception of Toy Bonnie, will usually have a 1 in 10 chance to leave the vent every second. Then, they are guaranteed to leave the vent after 5 full seconds with the mask on. In our version, this 1 in 10 chance does not exist, and vent animatronics will only leave after the full 5 seconds. Lastly, the puppet will succeed every single movement once the music box runs out. Normally, the puppet will roll a 1 in 4 chance to stay in the box for an additional second after the music box runs out. So, with our mod, she will instantly leave every time. So, with all of these changes, how can we possibly stand a chance at this 1020 mode? My first thought was to see if the current best 1020 strategy in the meta would work. For those who don't know, the most consistent and humanly viable 1020 strat at the moment is Braden strategy. This strategy relies on how Golden Freddy spawns work. Basically, if you never have the cameras open on 5-second intervals, Golden Freddy can never spawn. So you can flash through blackouts and wind for 9 full ticks on every single music box cycle. In addition, Toy Bonnie entering the vent will always be set on a counter of 200 frames or 3.33 seconds. So if you have the vent light on during 3.33 and 8.33 second intervals, you can completely stall Toy Bonnie entering the vent. However, there's a major problem with this strategy during this challenge. Because of the way we're setting up blackouts with the Braden strat, we'll never be able to hit both Toy Bonnie intervals of 3.33 and 8.33. So eventually, Toy Bonnie will show up. Toy Bonnie has a 1/3 chance to leave the vent every second when a blackout is happening. But because this is a chance, he's never going to leave. So unfortunately, any traditional 1020 strategies aren't going to work here. We are going to need a strategy that prevents Toy Bonnie from ever entering the vent across the entire night. So let me introduce you to -7. -7 is a strategy developed by Nico Frost, and is the only strategy in FNAF 2 that completely eliminates Toy Bonnie RNG. You see, when you flash an animatronic on with cameras, they are stunned and cannot move for 400 frames or 6.66 seconds. This will apply to every animatronic present in a given camera, although you may only see one present because of sprite priority. Lucky for us, all 7 of the animatronics that we can stall have to go through these 3 cameras, hence the name -7.
Speedy.
Toy Bonnie and Withered Chica have to go through Cam 4.
Alright.
Withered Bonnie, Withered Freddy, and Toy Chica have to go through Cam 7, and Toy Freddy and Mangle have to go through Cam 10. So, if we pull up the cameras and flash these 3 cameras on every 2 and every 7-second interval, we can keep all of these animatronics permanently stalled while also never giving Foxy more than 3 seconds for his jump scare equation to become true. This would be the new easiest way to beat FNAF 2's 1020, except for one animatronic, and that makes all of the difference. If you thought Toy Bonnie was bad, there is someone that is so much worse. Balloon Boy is the only reason that despite -7 being a well-known strategy, there are only 6 important PC victors and 1 console victor globally. You see, every animatronic that moves in a traditional manner is able to be stalled with the flashlight. Every animatronic except for Balloon Boy. For whatever reason, maybe it's because he takes your flashlight batteries so he's immune, I don't really know to be honest, Balloon Boy simply does not care when you flash him on the cameras. So we have to adjust our playstyle to deal with Balloon Boy attacks. Because Balloon Boy is the only animatronic that can naturally move throughout the building, we know that any vent sound that plays must be Balloon Boy in the vents. So here's how you deal with a Balloon Boy attack. Once you hear Balloon Boy for the first time, pull the cameras on whatever 2 or 7-second interval you're on. But make sure you get out of the cameras before the next 5-second interval. Because Balloon Boy doesn't have a kill timer, he can only move into the vent blind spot when the cameras are up, and will cue his movement once the next 5-second interval passes. Because we're playing with the worst possible luck, Balloon Boy is never going to fail movements. So we know he's guaranteed to cue his movement on this 5-second interval. Now, pull the cameras and flash 10, 4, and 7 as fast as you possibly can. Then, immediately drop the cameras and put on the mask. Now, it's a battle of reaction time. Balloon Boy is going to wait in the vents for a maximum of 5 seconds. So, the moment his sanity for leaving the vent begins to play, you need to pull the cameras and flash 10, 4, and 7 again as fast as you possibly can. Now, here's what a full Balloon Boy attack looks like in normal speed. This window is extremely precise. When factoring in the time that it takes for the camera and mask animations, both pulling them up and putting them down, this leaves roughly 0.6 seconds of reaction time for you to keep all the animatronics in their stun. Though Balloon Boy can sometimes be forgiving enough and will cut the player some slack with good enough RNG. For one, if he fails movements on his way to the office, he won't appear as much and therefore the night will be a lot easier. He could also leave the vent early during his attacks, as vent animatronics have that 1 in 10 chance every second to leave the vent when the mask is on. If he happens to leave early, it's really easy to keep the animatronics in their stuck. During my first -7 completion, Balloon Boy attacked a total of 10 times. During 6 of those times, he left the vent early by hitting a 1 in 10 chance on one of the 4 seconds he was in the vent. Meaning that throughout my first -7 completion, I only really had to deal with 4 hard Balloon Boy attacks. Now, with our version, Balloon Boy can no longer fail movements on his way to the office, and he never leaves the vent early. So do you want to guess how many perfect Balloon Boy attacks we have to survive? 16! If you want to beat FNAF 2 with the unluckiest possible RNG, Balloon Boy is going to move every chance he gets. This means that once you finish an attack from Balloon Boy, he's back in that vent in 15, count 'em, 15 seconds. In order to survive the night, you'll have to have insanely cracked aim and reaction time. Messing up in the slightest will cause the animatronics to be free from their stun, or for you to lose precious music box time. So, how was I doing with this challenge? Not great, to be honest. After 2 hours of attempting this challenge, I was struggling to even get past the 1 minute 30 mark. The camera buttons were just so small, and to rapidly hit all 3 of them consistently seemed like impossible precision, until I got an idea. In FNAF games where players have to hit specific locations super quickly, players will sometimes use sticky note strategies, and put sticky notes on their monitor so they can aim to a location before it's even on the screen. Some examples of this would be Munch Jr. from Fast Chuck E. Cheese Rebooted, or the reset ventilation button in Ultimate Custom Night. I figured that if I used sticky notes and placed them on cameras 4, 7, and 10, I could aim at those cameras while the camera monitor was still being pulled up, meaning I could hit the cameras a few frames faster. This was starting to make a bit of a difference in helping me survive Balloon Boy attacks, but I still wasn't consistent enough. So I needed to go to boot camp. Shooter25 had developed a practice mod for FNAF 2, where you can make Puppet never leave the box, among other challenges and cheats. So I would run into a game of 10-0 with the box never running out, and just practice hitting these 3 cameras over and over and over again. But even with this practice, I still couldn't get the hang of it in an actual game setting. So I had to think a little bit deeper, and then I realized, more often than not, I was failing to hit cameras 7 and 10 by either overshooting or undershooting the camera button. These cameras roughly form in a triangle pattern. Does this motion remind you of anything? That's right, the last video where I attempted my hardest FNAF challenge yet, Rat and Cat All Challenges. When Rat and Cat were moving in this triangle-like pattern, there was one situation where I would fail the most, having to move in a diagonal pattern to the bottom right. If you'd like to see a bit of a deeper look on this wrist movement and aiming, I highly suggest you go and watch that video after this one. But in the case of FNAF 2, I realized what I had to do. If I wanted to eliminate the motion of moving to the bottom right, I just had to change the order that I flashed the cameras in. Up to this point, I've been flashing in the order of 4, 7, and then 10. Now I would flash in the order of 10, 4, and then 7, perfectly matching the motions that I would use in the prediction movement for Rat and Cat. I also figured that with much smaller movements, I would need to be more precise. So, for the sake of better aim control and to not shatter my wrist any longer, I ditched my old mouse pad with a wrist rest in favor of a flat pad with more room, and turned the DPI of my mouse down to lower the overall sensitivity. Now I could accurately hit all 3 cameras much more consistently. I also figured that instead of flashing the 3 cameras separately in quick succession, I could keep the flashlight held down. That way, the only thing that I had to focus on was my mouse movement. Keeping the flashlight held down during Balloon Boy attacks comes with another added bonus. When coming up from a Balloon Boy attack, the frame that you open your cameras, you'll always be on the 3rd camera in your cycle, which for me is Cam 7. So you'll only need to click 2 cameras in the recovery. By only hitting 2 cams, you'll mess up less, but also get more time on the music box. For one final optimization, I had to address one problem. Sometimes during the recovery phase after a Balloon Boy attack, I would fumble and click cam 1 when trying to flick to the music box to wind. So instead of doing 2 separate clicks to click on cam 11, then click to wind the music box, you can click on cam 11, then keep the mouse button held down, as you don't need to separately click to start winding the box. You just have to have your cursor over it with the button held down. With all of these optimizations, I was able to score a personal best of 330 on the timer, but I finally felt that I was getting somewhat consistent with this challenge. I felt that it was finally time to prove that FNAF 2 truly isn't a luck-based max mode. After all these years of people calling it impossible and true RNG, it was finally time to fight every animatronic at their absolute strongest, in the absolute worst 1020. Oh my god, that was a fluke from 3:30. Holy shit! Yes! Oh my god!
Mama.
Holy shit! Oh my god. I am shaking so bad. Another fluke, almost as crazy as the rat and cat one. If you'd like to view the full uncut run for the unluckiest 1020, I have it up on the second channel. Somehow, I managed to completely fluke unluckiest 1020 from 3 AM. On top of that, I ended up missing the stun on one of the final stalls for all the animatronics, giving me 40 seconds to survive and hope that I could get enough box to outlast Toy Bonnie. With that, we can officially say that FNAF 2 is completely possible with no cheese and with the worst luck. Now, with FNAF 2 done, how does the most luck-based game fare with the worst possible luck? FNAF 3 is known for being extremely luck-based. So, how can we make this as bad as possible? Let's go over the changes this time around. When Springtrap spawns into the night, he can spawn in a random camera from 10 to 6. He will always spawn in Camp 6. Springtrap will also always take the fastest possible route to the office. The audio lure normally has a 1 in 7 chance to fail. So now, it just straight up doesn't work. Wonderful. Springtrap will now always roll a 0 in his movement equation instead of a random number from 0 to 14. Basically, this means that Springtrap will now always move on every other second. All of the phantoms will now spawn on every single opportunity they have. Both sealing vents and rebooting systems is RNG, so we'll adjust those accordingly. Sealing vents in FNAF 3 take a random amount of time between 0.83 seconds and 1.65 seconds. So, vents will always take 1.65 seconds to seal. Rebooting a single system can take 5 to 10 seconds, so it will always take 10 full seconds. Rebooting all can take anywhere from 10 to 20 seconds, so it will always take 20 full seconds. All of these changes combined creates one of the worst FNAF experiences ever. If you think there's any chance of this being possible legitimately, you would be wrong. Here's what a normal playthrough of Aggressive Nightmare looks like with the worst possible luck. So yeah, we're immediately resorting to cheese strats. In FNAF 3, there's really only one cheese strategy, and that's the FGP or Freddy Game Player strategy. Once Springtrap enters your office, he can only actually jump scare you when 2 conditions are met. If you have a ventilation error, whether it be from idling in the office or from a phantom jump scare, or if you have the cameras or maintenance panel up for a collective second. On every night except night 6, the ventilation will naturally fail after a given number of time, decreasing each night. But because the ventilation cannot naturally fail, the only way for the ventilation to fail is through phantom jump scares or idling in the office for more than 10 seconds. So, if we pull up the cameras for as little time as possible, we can stretch how long we survive in the office. Optimally, we flip the cameras up on every 9.99 second interval. But for a humanly possible route, the strategy
Oh my
is
god,
usually
nearly
8
2
seconds.
hours.
So, if we never reach a cumulative second with the cameras up, Springtrap can never attack us. Here's where the problem comes in. Springtrap will always enter the office before 9 AM. Because our audio lures just don't work, there's no way to keep them out. Every phantom is going to spawn every single chance they have. Meaning, on every single hour interval, Phantom Freddy will spawn. Normally, when using FGP, you'd eat the first Phantom Freddy jump scare at 1 AM to get ready for the rest of the night. But we can't do that here because Springtrap is already in our office. So, we have to deal with Phantom Freddy while also trying to flip for as little time as possible. Phantom Freddy will jump scare you if you're idle for 2 seconds. So, space out your flips as best you can while staying within 2 seconds. Unfortunately, even with frame-perfect flips, you also run out of times for Springtrap to jump scare you. Once you use up your second on the cameras, Springtrap has a 50% chance to jump scare you. So, with our mod, he's always gonna kill. I wasn't able to get very far with this cheese strat. But for a moment, let's see if it would be possible with a tool-assisted run. Let's assume that every single flip you do is always frame perfect, a 1-frame flip, as 0-frame flips don't exist in FNAF 3. So you have 60 total flips before Springtrap is guaranteed to jump scare you. Springtrap will usually be in the office by 40 seconds, so that's when our 60 flip countdown starts. From 40 seconds to 102, we use 3 flips. Then, in order to deal with the first Phantom Freddy spawn, we have to flip a total of 12 times, as he's active for roughly 23 seconds. We then have to flip 6 more times to get to 2 AM, where Phantom Freddy will spawn again. So, add 12 more flips to that count. We then flip 6 more times to get to 3 AM, and then 12 more times to get past the 3 AM Phantom Freddy. We can flip 6 more times to get to 4 AM, but there's no possible way for us to get past Phantom Freddy. So, if I had to estimate the most perfect run of FNAF 3 with the worst possible luck, it would be around 408, assuming every single flip you hit was frame perfect. So, within this video, we found that FNAF 1 is possible with cheese, and is maybe possible without it, but very unlikely. FNAF 2 is 100% possible legitimately, and FNAF 3 is completely impossible even with cheese. If you guys enjoyed this video and would like to see a part 2 where we cover FNAF 4 to UCM, please like, comment, subscribe, and join the Discord. The recent support on the channel has been absolutely crazy, and I am so eternally grateful. So again, please keep it up, it's been wonderful. It might be a bit into the next upload, because I'm going on vacation for the summer, and honestly, I think I might need a bit of a break after all the recent challenge vids, but it won't be too long, so don't worry. 3-week break at the very most. With that said, thank you guys for watching, as always.
Oh my gosh. Oh my. 449.
If you've ever taken on any of FNAF's hardest challenges or max modes, then you would know that luck plays a crucial role in the difficulty of the experience. Or spawn ultimate custom night, or some other instance of bad luck, a lot of the time, a player's luck with the game's RNG can make the game significantly more challenging or even impossible. Alright, let's just see how long we survive this. I'm curious about this one. Oh my.
Always come back.
I don't know about that one, dude. Which gave me the idea to see if it's possible to beat these max modes given the worst possible luck. In this video, we'll be modding these FNAF games so that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Now, this video is part 2 and the final part of the worst luck series. In the first part of this video, we went over the max modes for FNAF 1, FNAF 2, and FNAF 3. If you haven't yet watched that video, I highly recommend this one if you're interested in how those games played out with the worst possible luck. I also want to give a huge thank you to Brayden for creating these mods for both this video and part 1. If you'd like to download any of them, I'll link Brayden's game job page in the description. Now, back in part 1, in order to determine if a max mode was possible or not with the worst possible luck, we ranked it on a scale. If the game could be beaten with the worst possible luck and without any cheese strats, it was given a green possible. If the game was possible, but required cheese strats in order to be completed, it was given a yellow possible. And if we tried everything we had, cheese or not, and the max mode was just straight up impossible, we gave it a, well, impossible rating. In the first part, we determined that FNAF 1's 420 was possible with cheese. FNAF 2's 1020 was possible without cheese, and FNAF 3's Aggressive Nightmare was completely impossible impossible. But at the end of that video, I issued a challenge to my community to see if you guys could beat FNAF 1 without any cheese, and prove if FNAF 3 was possible at all. And I'm happy to say that both of these games have seen developments with the worst luck challenges. First, Quilly proved that FNAF 1's 420 is completely possible without any cheese strategies. By just checking the lights 3 times before going into the cameras on later hours, and doing some pretty intense green running, FNAF 1's 420 can be beaten without any cheese. It was also proven that our only impossible max mode so far, FNAF 3's Aggressive Nightmare, is theoretically possible with cheese. By using the FGP strategy, Felixander30 found that I was actually way off in how many flips you needed to do in order to survive a Phantom Freddy spawn, and crafted a theoretical route involving Phantom Freddy's D6 that makes Aggressive Nightmare possible. Then, Nico Frost, the same person who created the -7 strategy in FNAF 2, proved that it is in fact possible with a tool-assisted run, by using a macro that always guarantees every flip is frame perfect. Assuming you were to hit every single frame perfect flip, FNAF 3 Aggressive Nightmare has now gone from impossible to possible with cheese. So, we can safely say that given a perfect player, every max mode up to this point is completely possible with the worst possible luck. Now, let's see if that continues with our next set of games that we'll be going through in this video, starting with FNAF 4. Now, before we get into FNAF 4, I do want to specify exactly how we're going to follow the games in order to achieve the worst possible luck. We're only able to alter the code such that the luck that we deal with here is still theoretically possible in the vanilla game. For example, let's take Molten Freddy here. On Saturday, Molten Freddy moves on 2-second intervals and has a 1 in 3 chance to do so. Because his movement chance, his 1 in 3 will become a 100% chance, and he'll succeed every movement, as it's theoretically possible for him to hit as many 1 in 3 times in a row as he wanted. However, we couldn't change his movement interval from 2 seconds to every second, because no luck in the base game would ever allow for Molten Freddy's interval to change. Now, FNAF 4 is a bit special when compared to the rest of the FNAF games, in that it has 3 separate max modes, those being 420 mode, or Night 8, then Night 7 with the blind mode and all nightmare challenges, and what most people consider to be the true hardest challenge of FNAF 4, Night 7 with the blind mode, Mad Freddy, and Insta Foxy challenges. Because all 3 of these max modes have different gameplay, we'll be covering all of them with the worst possible luck. So let's go over the changes that we made to FNAF 4's code, starting off with Bonnie and Chica. On every night except 2020-2020 mode, Bonnie and Chica will now have an 18 in 20 chance to move, making them as aggressive as possible and preventing any prediction strategies for movement that is similar to 20 AI. They will also always take the fastest possible route, the bedroom. Foxy receives possibly the strongest buff from having the worst possible luck, which if you've been following this channel for a bit, you know I have some history with. Foxy will now always move given every chance he has on every AI level above 0. Typically, once Foxy enters a hall corner, he'll have a 90% chance to move to the opposing hall corner on his next movement opportunity, and a 10% chance to charge your door in the hall. He will now always choose to rush your door no matter what. If Foxy happens to get in the closet, which, let's be real here, this will happen pretty fast, he'll normally choose a random value from 3 to 7 as his starting progress. So for us, he's always starting with 7 progress. Nightmare has also received a few changes. He'll always charge the door, meaning you'll have as little time to react to him as possible whenever he's dashing between hallways. Nightmare will also always succeed on his fake laughs, and he can only do real laughs on 10-second intervals. When he does real laugh, he'll always go to the closet. I'll talk more about these when we actually get to dealing with Nightmare because it gets a bit complicated. Now, out of the 3 max modes that we have for FNAF 4, we have to complete 420 mode in order to unlock the challenges for the other 2 max modes. So, we'll start with Worst Luck 420. As our first max mode for this video, FNAF 4's 420 mode would give us a general idea of what this challenge was going to be like, and I'm actually pleased to say it was really easy. Now, I actually ended up doing 420 on all the max modes due to some technical issues we had with the mods. But once I realized the cycle of the night, it really wasn't hard whatsoever. Now, in normal 420 runs, there's a strategy that you can use known as the Braden strat. Basically, due to the way that FNAF 4's map is set up, and the fact that there aren't any AI caps in FNAF 4, we can accurately predict where Bonnie and Chica are always going to be using a stopwatch. There's a lot more that goes into it, but all that you really have to know is that Bonnie and Chica will never be at the door from 0 seconds to 5 seconds on the timer, meaning we can go up to the door, buffer a flashlight input, and always flash Bonnie and Chica away risk-free. Between these flashes, we can deal with Freddy, keeping everyone at bay with relative ease. However, there is one animatronic that prevents this strategy from being 100% consistent. And if any of you have seen my FNAF lock video, I think you know who I'm talking about. In order for this strategy to work, Foxy must not ever get in the closet. If he does, we won't be able to check Bonnie and Chica on their proper intervals. Unfortunately for us, Worst Luck Foxy is absolutely insane. If you need a quick refresher on how Foxy's entry mechanics work, once he's moved into a hall, he'll wait for you to move to the opposite door of the hall that he's currently located in. Once you move, he'll get in your closet. So, because this is Worst Luck Foxy, he's just gonna straight up charge the same hall 3 times in a row, which makes it so that we can't use the Braden strat the whole night. However, we can at least use Braden's strategy to get about 45 seconds of free progress before Foxy gets in. The reason that this works is because of how Bonnie and Chica's room jump scares work. On 420 mode, once Bonnie and Chica have been waiting at your door for a cumulative 12 seconds, they'll jump scare you the next time that you turn to the bed. The key word here is turning to the bed. In my winning run, Foxy chose to rush Chica's hall. So I flashed Chica on the first 0 to 5 second interval, then got rid of the Freddles, then went back to the right door to flash Chica again for the second 0 to 5 second interval. Then I got rid of the Freddles one more time. Now, on this next turn, we know that Bonnie will have reached his cumulative room kill timer, since we haven't flashed his hallway at all. So, once we flash Chica this time, don't turn to the bed. Instead, go straight to Bonnie's door. The Mad Freddy challenge isn't on here, so you have a good bit of time with Nightmare Freddy on the bed. This gives us a free 45-second head start until Foxy gets into the closet. Now, once Foxy's here, we'll have to actually start playing the game. Remember that Foxy's starting progress in the closet is random, ranging anywhere from 3 to 7. So, with our worst luck, he's always going to start with 7 progress. So, the moment he gets in, take care of Freddy in the bed, then go up to the closet and close it for exactly 7 seconds. You want to make Foxy a priority here as he's already really aggressive with how much progression he starts with. As a general rule for Foxy, closing the closet doors for exactly 7 seconds will give you enough time to deal with everyone else before returning to the closet. Now we're just going to go into the normal gameplay loop of FNAF 4, which surprisingly is actually pretty lenient. I played blind mode Mad Freddy instead of Foxy before 420 mode, so I was actually used to a way more aggressive Freddy than the one in 420 mode. And once I realized that you only had to check Freddy once per cycle, I knew this night was going to go down no problem. Oh, I lived that? Oh, this is free, okay. Alright, cool. Easy. It's also worth noting that the timer strats from the Braden method still apply here. If you're at a door from 0 to 5, there's a good chance that Bonnie and Chica won't be there. And if you're at a door from 5 to 10, there's a good chance they will be. There's one thing that I should mention about FNAF 4 in general that is super important for this challenge. Throughout this challenge, you'll notice that 3 is sort of a magic number with these games, and it's the most important in this game here. If you've ever played FNAF casually, then you would know the typical way of getting rid of Bonnie and Chica when they're at the doors is to wait for a breathing sound, then wait until you hear their footsteps actually leaving the door so you know it's safe to open it and flash the hallway.
Oh my gosh.
Well, with this strategy, you actually only have to listen for the first breathing part. If Bonnie and Chica are at a door and you close it, they'll wait until the next 3-second interval to leave the door. So, as long as the door is fully closed and you're absolutely sure you heard breathing, it's safe to open the door immediately as the next 3-second interval passes. Knowing exactly when Bonnie and Chica leave is super important for us. If we spend less time at the door dealing with them, we'll have way more time with Freddy and Foxy. If you want to be super careful, and if you aren't sure if you heard breathing or not, you can force Bonnie and Chica to the door by quickly closing it and then reopening it, then waiting until the next 3-second interval to make sure they're gone. As long as you follow the loop and keep up with the 3-second intervals, the first 4 hours of 420 mode should be pretty easy, all things considered. Now we have to deal with Nightmare. If you don't know how Nightmare works normally, here's a basic overview. He'll move from hallway to hallway with a sound cue. Once he stops moving, you'll have to run to that hallway and close the door on him to repeat the cycle. However, Nightmare isn't that simple. Whenever he laughs, there's a chance that he teleports to the bed or the closet, in which case you'll need to find him and flash the bed or close the closet doors. The only problem with this is that a laugh is not always real, and sometimes Nightmare can laugh but just stay in the hallways, leaving you to run around the room like an idiot and die. But if we look a little deeper into how Nightmare's laugh system actually works, it's pretty easy to differentiate between a real and fake laugh. Let's talk about real laughs first. Nightmare's laugh is determined by 2 separate timers, one for the bed and one for the closet. Every second, the game will randomly choose to add one to the bed timer or the closet timer. Once one of these timers hits 20, Nightmare has a 50% chance to laugh and teleport to that respective location. Fake laughs are a lot less complicated. He just has a 1/2 chance to do a fake laugh every 10 seconds. So if you've been paying attention, it's pretty easy to see if a laugh is fake or not. If a laugh happens on any interval that isn't 10 seconds, then it is guaranteed to be real. So how does this translate into what it's like Nightmare? Well, Nightmare is always going to do a fake laugh on every single 10-second interval, but he'll only do real laughs on those same 10-second intervals, making it impossible to tell using a stopwatch whether or not the laugh was real or fake. He'll also always teleport to the closet instead of the bed when he laughs. When Nightmare teleports to the bed, his fake laugh timer pauses, which would allow us to desync his laughs and always tell if a laugh is real or not. So we really have no idea if any of his laughs are real or fake. But this still isn't really a problem. Unlike the true max mode of this game, we're actually able to see. So whenever we're running to a door as Nightmare laughs, we can just flash the hallway. If he isn't there, bolt for the closet and hope you were fast enough to catch him. Nightmare can only do 2 real laughs in one night. So once you've gotten rid of him from the closet twice, you can just go from door to door for the rest of the night. And 420 mode is done, no problem.
Reload. What? Dude, that was first try. What the Yo. I was not expecting that. Because I was mid-run, I was testing to see, oh, can you use, or can you go to Bonnie and Chica's door and just do door, bed, closet, door, instead of door, bed, closet, bed? Because that's where I would die, is I'd be dying at the second turn of the bed from Bonnie and Chica, but you don't need to do that. Freddy is like free, he can wait for a long ass time, so once you understand the whole like 3-second interval system, yeah, that's kind of raps, dude. Wow, that was not hard at all.
Now we have the 2 other max modes for FNAF 4, Blind Mode All Nightmare and Blind Mode Mad Freddy Insta-Foxy. Now, the Blind Mode challenge makes the footage look a little boring for these. So I decided to record 2 separate completions for both of these nights. For the sake of entertaining footage, I first beat the night without Blind Mode. Then to actually complete the true max mode, I rebeat them both with Blind Mode on. For the raw proof on the second channel, both of these max modes will have the completions with the Blind Mode challenge on and off uploaded. Let's start off with the significantly easier max mode of the 2, Blind Mode All Nightmare. The All Nightmare challenge is just that, fighting Nightmare all night instead of fighting the electronics for the first 4 hours and then Nightmare in the last 2. However, despite Nightmare being here for 4 more hours, he's only able to do 2 real laughs the entire night, which normally he'll burn in the first 1 to 2 minutes. We already talked about how to deal with Nightmare's laughs earlier in the 420 section, but in this case, we can't see. So using the flashlight to see if Nightmare is in the hallway or not won't really work here. Remember though, 3 is the magic number, not just for Bonnie and Chica, but also for Nightmare. If Nightmare laughs and you're not sure if it's real or not, head to the door that you think he might have gone to. Now, shut it and listen for footsteps over the next 3-second interval. If there's no footsteps, then you know for sure that the laugh was real, and you need to bolt to the closet immediately. For example, let's look at this clip here. This is from my 420 run, but Nightmare's the exact same, so it doesn't really matter in this case. We know Nightmare is going to the left door, but we don't know if the laugh was real or fake. So we close the left door and see that the 4:54-second interval had passed while the door was closed. Nightmare didn't move to the other door like he normally would over those 3-second intervals. So we know for certain he's not in the hallways and we need to go to the closet. This makes All Nightmare a pretty easy night, and in my opinion is the easiest out of the 3 max modes in FNAF 4. However, our final max mode for this game is without question the hardest of the 3. Blind Mode, Mad Freddy, Insta-Foxy. The main difficulty in Blind Mode, Mad Freddy, Insta-Foxy comes in the breakneck speed that you have to move in order to keep Freddy and Foxy happy. Bunny and Chica now have an 18 and 20 chance to move, so we can't gamble and use the Braden strat anymore. They'll also camp the door whenever they can, making it really easy for their cumulative kill timer to fill up and for you to die from turning around from bed. So, what's the strategy here? Well, we're going to follow a simple loop throughout the entire night. Check the left door, right door, then get rid of the frettles on the bed, close the closet for 7 seconds, get rid of the frettles again, then repeat. This might sound simple on paper, but you'll need to be as fast as possible in this loop for Foxy and Freddy. Because of the Mad Freddy cheat, we're now forced to turn to the bed twice per cycle, which not only makes Bonnie and Chica more strict, but also Foxy. So, we need to find out how to save time within every cycle, and we can only really do so when dealing with Bonnie and Chica. So, you'll have to react to the breathing sound cue as fast as possible in order to try and catch the earliest possible 2-second interval. Second guess yourself, hesitate, or wait too long even once on Bonnie or Chica at the doors, and you'll be easy prey for both Freddy and Foxy, and Bonnie and Chica turning from the bed. In my personal experience with this challenge, most of my fails came from trying to be too fast with Bonnie and Chica and barely missing a breathing sound cue, or playing too cautiously and dying to Foxy and Freddy.
Bro. No way. Oh, actually.
Bro said he paused his game to pee.
Eventually, though, the movement of breathing became second nature, and I was able to quickly move throughout the room and eventually reach 4am and Nightmare. Nightmare is no different than he was in All Nightmare, so by using those same strategies, Mad Freddy, Insta-Foxy, Worse Luck, man that is a kind of a mouthful, is once you master the 3-second intervals, it's very doable. But that was a hard learning curve, honestly. I didn't think FNAF 4 would be that hard. That was decently hard. Nowhere near Sister Location, but that was hard. With FNAF 4 done, we can officially say that every single FNAF 4 max mode is 100% possible and gets a sweet minimum possible rating. Now, if you thought FNAF 4 was fast-paced, don't worry because it gets so much crazier. Let's move on to my personal favorite of the challenges in this video, and that is max mode Sister Location. Came in last place with only 7% of the total votes. And honestly, you guys would be right if it wasn't for one stupid decision that I made that turned this from a 3 to 5 attempt challenge into one of the hardest challenges on this channel. When I first beat Sister Location with the worst possible luck, I beat it with 14% power remaining. As put the face cam in the top left corner, but believe me, that was the number. And seeing this gave me an idea. Now, if you're at all familiar with the history of Sister Location's you know there are actually 3 different iterations of it. There's the current patch, or version 1.121, 2, and the pre-patch, or version 1.11, with the only differences between these patches relating to how fast the power drains. Sister Location's 1020 on the pre-patch version is infamous for being one of the hardest challenges that you can do in the vanilla FNAF games. And for all the stuff that I've done on my channel,
Oh my god, bro. Floor 50 after 5.5 hours. Jesus Christ.